Welcome to the final session of the series, An Entrepreneur's Guide to Conquering the Impacts of COVID-19 on Small Business, webinars and podcasts created for you by the New Mexico Community Development Loan Fund, a nonprofit CDFI, which provides business financing and consulting services to New Mexico entrepreneurs. All right, working with your action plan. Back in session 3, we asked you to weigh the conclusions of your analysis of your business's situation and to consider the 3 possible options: get out of business, stay the course, or pivot. We also told you not to make any decisions at the time. Then, in session 4, we addressed the planning process for each of the 3 options and discussed the 5 problem areas we identified in session 1 as they apply to each of the 3 options. By now, you may have focused on 1 or 2 of the options, or perhaps you're still considering all 3 as possible directions. At the end of the day, you will have to decide on the one that best suits your situation. But for now, you can still consider as many options as you can handle. Your next step at this point is to prioritize the problem areas in the option or options that you've chosen to pursue. This prioritization can only be done by you, and any follow-on action with the plan will be done by you, so it has to work for you. What we'll look at next should be taken as suggestions or clarification. They're not directions you must follow. Prioritizing the elements that make up your options. When we first introduced the idea of the 5 problem areas, we said that although they were presented as individual operational units, at some point you'd begin to see stronger relationships between some of them, depending on the nature of your business. This is where you will truly see these associations. Your priorities are at the center of your action plan. Stating the what you're wanting to do, the who will do it, when you need it done, and the resources needed are the implementation and execution part of the action plan. You might consider creating action plans for each of your largest, most ambitious, and most urgent priorities, since addressing large-scale priorities usually become projects unto themselves. The principal features of priorities are that they contain the potential to create change, and they're urgent and demand action. In your analysis of the situation your business finds itself, and you have no doubt identified aspects of the business that require prompt action and may even be game changers. There are, of course, priorities with varying levels of urgency and effects, but at this point, it's probably more constructive to stick with the higher level ones you found. But you should take note of any lesser priorities as well. There will be time to give them a second or third look a little later. Let's take a few examples. A couple of high-level priority ones and lesser priority one. A high-level priority that would likely show up regardless of which of the 3 options you've selected is to need to enhance liquidity. Your need to get your hands on as much cash as possible. Of the 5 problem areas which will have a direct impact on cash, either as an expense outflow or as an income generator. Clients, if you prefer, businesses in the door. This is your principal source of cash. Competitors, probably not a direct expense and not a source of cash, but you probably spend marketing dollars to stay ahead of them. So a pretty weak relationship with liquidity. Marketing, definitely an expense and not ever directly generating cash. If you're thinking of reducing your marketing budget, first, try to get better results and more business with your current budget before cutting. So, probably not a significant source of cash. Finances. Surprisingly, this will never be a source of cash. In fact, it's all expense, an investment in keeping your business solvent. The amount you pay your finance professionals is probably not significant as a source of cash. Of course, if your business owns hard assets, liquidating those would be a ready source of cash, minus the tax consequences of the sale, and it would put finances with clients as a principal source of cash. For the purposes of this example, we're assuming there are no assets. Staffing. Employees are an obviously expensive proposition. You may be tempted to strip out every possible dollar, but like we said about marketing dollars, you must be very careful with cutting employees or salaries or hours. If you cut too deeply, your business performance will suffer, and your principal source of cash will be compromised. In this example, where liquidity is a high priority, the action plan to achieve it must address the roles played by clients and staffing primarily, and marketing at a lesser level in formulating the strategy. The when is the driver for the strategy for this priority. Let's look at another example of a high-level priority, a significant one for anyone choosing to get out of the business: business valuation. How much can you reasonably ask for your business, and what will make it attractive? Again, which of the 5 problem areas influence the market value of the business? Clients? Buyers are likely looking at the business's ability to generate a positive revenue stream post-purchase. A good measure for this potential comes from the quality of your client list. Depending on the nature of your business, history of multi-year repeat business is a leading indicator. Clients' creditworthiness determines the quality of the list. Whether the list has grown or shrunk over time are a few of the criteria a potential buyer will consider. So the quality of your clients is definitely a significant element. Competitors, there's a good chance that your potential buyer might be a competitor. But even if that's not the case, the competition is relevant only to the buyer in their own plan to incorporate your business. Since you will no longer be involved in the business, this is of no significance in your prioritization exercise. Marketing in its many different forms, advertising being a minor part, has always been how your business has been promoted and kept relevant. Marketing has been focused on the buyers of your products and services, emphasizing good service, quality products, dependability, all the positive aspects of your business. Now the purpose of your marketing efforts needs to be turned around to focus on potential buyers of the business, so it's possible that direct advertising becomes the principal marketing avenue. Marketing effectively is what will push your business out to the people who might purchase it. So marketing will have the strongest relationship with valuation because you will sell the business for what you can convince someone it's worth. Finances. Best business practices emphasize maintaining accurate and current financial statements. Any serious potential buyer will expect to see several years' financial statements when they evaluate your asking price. There are people who prepare professional valuations for companies if you choose to engage such services. The evaluators will immediately want to see the financial statements. Whether you need a professional valuation or you're able to determine the value yourself, finance is another significant element. Staffing. Similar to the competitors, you cannot be assured that staffing will be a consideration for potential buyers unless employees are in positions that are indispensable for the effective functioning of the business. Whether the current staffing is retained post-purchase is entirely up to the new owner's plan to incorporate your business. So this also may not have significance in your prioritization exercise. In this example, where valuation is a high priority, the action plan to achieve it must address the roles played by clients, marketing, and finance primarily. That what is the driver for the strategy for this priority. Finally, let's look at an example of a lesser level priority. Sometimes you have to address a priority in specific areas of the administration of your business. Just because it's a lesser level priority doesn't mean it's less important, and you should still create an action plan to resolve it. Let's say you have an operational priority, effective marketing. How do you know you're getting the best return on your marketing investment? Which of the 5 problem areas will answer that question and provide a solution? Clients. The effectiveness of your marketing efforts is gauged by the volume of response by your clients, which makes clients a strong indicator. However, client response has to be measured over time, year over year, if possible, in order to get a true picture growing, declining, staying steady. Also, consider seasonality and whether there were unique events that drove higher than normal business. Competitors. The need for marketing is driven by competition, and they need to set yourself apart from competitors. But what choices competitors make regarding their marketing strategy depend on their business, and you should not plan your marketing around what you think the competition is doing. So, competitors should not be anything more than a reference point and is not significant in this prioritization exercise. Marketing. In this example, it's obvious that marketing is the purpose of this prioritization exercise. Specifically, it's the review and reevaluation of your present marketing strategy, searching for weaknesses or missed opportunities, and new directions if they're needed. You may find that your marketing doesn't need to be changed, which is a valid outcome for a prioritization exercise. Finances. Your business general ledger and financial statements won't necessarily be significant for this example. Effective marketing is best gauged by upticks in sales, so your sales records for the related marketing period will be more useful. In this example, you may want to compare sales reports to marketing efforts from the same time period in previous years. In any case, it's important to differentiate between positive results from a marketing effort with purpose and some chance for occurrence that wasn't part of the effort yet affected by the outcome of the effort. Staffing. Feedback from your employees is the most meaningful but least scientific measure of the success or failure of a marketing effort, even if they weren't directly involved in the marketing decisions. Although their feedback may be anecdotal, it serves as a starting point for your analysis of effectiveness of your marketing efforts. In this example, where determining effective marketing is the priority, the action plan to achieve it must address the roles played by clients, sales, and staffing, feedback, primarily, and finance, sales, and records comparisons second. The what is the driver for the strategy for this priority. Okay, let's recap. With this session, we have reached the conclusion of the self-analysis process we began in session 1. The goal of the process was to provide a roadmap for you, the entrepreneur, to guide a transformation or adaptation of your business following the major shifts that have occurred following the COVID-19 pandemic. You should keep in mind that what we've reviewed in the past sessions are just the framework around which you can build a strategy for your business. It isn't of itself the solution to any challenges you may encounter. Also keep in mind that your action plans are meant to be reviewed and reevaluated over time. As conditions change and business evolves, you reap the full benefit of the investment in time and energy required to complete this strategic plan. Keep in mind also that not making a timely decision is a decision that you'll have to live with. We wish you all good fortune and many successes.